what they want to grab here. Typically railgun and camo advantage going on over the red team. Blue team in terms of the strongholds, being able to get basement, possibly that scatter shot and getting the nest. It's just a matter of what you do after you make those moves. So we're starting this one off with Sub-Zero, who wants to get control of the white corner to start this one. Definitely a strong area to fill because you can watch both of the strongholds over here. Love that play from Evil Geniuses, but it gets countered by Sub-Zero because no one watched the drops down towards the basement window, and that's going to be scatter shot going on over to Team Liquid, railgun going on over to Team Liquid, and eventually they're going to get the slays and rotate the spawns. What a play though by Roy.
Yeah, that was a great play to come out and pick up a trade in that situation, because not only did he back Sub-Zero up out of the hill, he actually picked up a trade on the scatter shot players. They're keeping that control and racking up time here based on what Roy was able to do.
But look out, because Ace not only has the camo, but he has the scatter shot that he picked up off of the dead body, and now he's going to have another player on the radar. 2 easy kills there for Ace. He's also going to have 3 dead on the kill feed and rotate that scatter shot off the spawn. Now Lunchbox, last guy alive. You're not going to be able to capture that Lunchbox by yourself. Kind of a bad play there. And now they're going to add the pressure for Team Liquid. Where do you add the pressure from? Exactly what Ace is doing right now, controlling the white corner, tapping buttons with the railgun kill. Falcated coming out, and Lunchbox with a beatdown. Now Stellar's no shields too, so good opportunity for EG to potentially break this setup.
Yeah, we'll see if they'll be able to push out. EG Falcated, he does grab a kill. It gets into a 1v1 with Eco and just destroys him. I don't know if he got any help there. He may have, but either way, Nest is going to go over to EG here as they control Nest and basement. You can see on those player outlines, Penguin is trying to move around and be a little sneaky man, or Sub-Zero. I read Sub-Zero and I say Penguin either way.
I know, it's so weird.
Either way, yeah, Sub-Zero there does get taken out. That's 3 dead now for Liquid with scatter shot down here. Roy ended up dropping that one. It looks like Falcated, rather than backing up, wants to keep that aggression on.
Just weird that he takes the climate from where his previous name was and then adds that as his new gamer tag. I think that's why it's so tough. But either way, that was a really nice break there coming out from Evil Geniuses, and now we're kind of seeing a break of our own there from Team Liquid. So just back and forth either way. However, you got to give the advantage to the break in Team Liquid's favor because of the fact that they were able to do that as the weapons were coming up. Tapping buttons though, while that was happening, picked up a double kill, which kind of counters exactly what happened on the map for the side of Team Liquid. So a fantastic job from EG, especially Falcated and tapping buttons.
Yeah, and we see a lot of back and forth action here. Lots of people having to back down. Oh, Eco almost gets a kill there, but gets taken out. That's a double for the no shields tapping buttons here. So this is going to be Evil Geniuses still being able to put points on the board. As you can see, Penguin trying to do what he can. You can see his stats on the board here. He's consistently putting out heavy damage here for this squad.
Yeah, look at the points that Evil Geniuses is racking up. This has been great by them, all because of that break that they had, and then tapping buttons, picking up kills in a disadvantaged situation over and over again. What a grenade flying in over towards the snipe hole. Takes Ace down to no shields. Roy aware of that hit marker, and he's going to take him down. But let's see what tapping buttons is going to be able to do. It was his job to lock down that nest side of the map, but the push didn't come from that side. It ended up coming from the barrel side instead. He's aware of that now and trying to decide where he wants to go and add the aggression. Taking one player down to no shields. There goes the cleanup. Eco and Ace doing a nice job doing the bait and switch. Now you see Team Liquid finally able to retake control after Evil Geniuses had such a strong mid game.
Yeah, so they are going to lose BR base here, but they trade it for Nest. This is generally what you want to do in this situation here. They need to make sure they don't give up any deaths, though, as big battles happening. Eco wins that one here and stays alive. 2 other players towards Carbine, or excuse me, towards Engine 2 and Bunker there that pick up those kills. They need to recognize the spawns are coming off Carbine side. Eco does. He needs to wait for some help, though.
Watch out for those grenades. So many grenades flying in. He dodges 1 out of the 3 there. The other 2 taking him down to no shields, but that is a triple cap in effect for Team Liquid. So the fact that Evil Genius has had this amazing setup for so long isn't going to matter much because of the amount of time that they are accumulating in the pace that they're able to do it at. And now Camouflage on the map here any second. You already have Sub-Zero with the railgun. So this is twice now that Evil Geniuses has died as the power-ups and power weapons were coming up. Tapping buttons got him out the first time, but now tapping buttons died, so he's not going to be able to this time around. And now the lead going on over to Team Liquid.
And this is a scary moment. EG is just trying to stay alive long enough to where all their teammates are in fact alive, but it's not been able to go out or work out in their favor. It's just too much teamwork and great jobs of staying alive coming out here for Team Liquid.
Yeah, kind of a dangerous situation to be in if you're Penguin. Yeah, I'm not sure why he's going and charging into the open field without checking his sides. Just completely coughs up the railgun right there. And then Ace, he coughs up the scatter shot. That's going to be 2 dead. Penguin off the respawn. It was 3 dead temporarily. Now Roy going to make his push on over towards the barrels. This is big because if they're able to break the setup for Evil Geniuses, they're going to be able to bring this back. However, if Liquid stops them, which it looks like that's happening right now, as 2 players are going to drop, that's going to be the 3rd one. Stellar going to avoid both of those sticky grenades, and now it's only 1 or 2 more pushes here for Evil Geniuses before this game is over.
I mean, EG was winning this, and ever since Liquid was able to get some sort of control with those power weapons, they have been running away with this, only sacrificing 1 stronghold and just spawn killing Evil Geniuses, basically.
Ooh, tapping buttons, not going to be able to get Eco right there, even though some solid shots coming out from him. Possible ground pound coming in, but Lunchbox not having that one. He's going to back off, leave Eco there for a teammate. But while that's happening, BR base is being captured right under his nose. It's going to be a trade for basement, but still, it doesn't matter that much for Team Liquid because they know they only need 14 more points before this one's over. What's going to be the play for Evil Geniuses? They have to control this railgun. They have to get control of Whitehall because eventually you're going to see the push coming on over towards the Nest side, but it's just not going to happen. Team Liquid too strong, dropping 2 members from Evil Geniuses, and they're aware of the spawns as well. So only 8 more points before this one's all over. If they're able just to get 1 or 2 more kills, it's going to be Team Liquid taking game 1 of this series.
Yeah, I mean, Eco did a great job staying alive for an extremely long time, constantly laying down damage. Does get taken out, but we do have control once again. While Evil Geniuses was only able to accumulate 1 second, it looks like it's going to be Team Liquid actually closing out the game. They need 2 people in this nest. Unfortunately, Lunchbox has no help, and there is not enough time left on this clock. Game number 148 over to Team Liquid.
Yeah, and it all happened because of the fact that they got that triple cap on the board. You just saw they were down. Evil Geniuses had them on the ropes at a certain point in time, and then boom, it just blows up. 3 strongholds under control. Right when that happened, Camo and Railgun coming up, they got both of those. They got the scatter shot, and there was nothing much that Evil Geniuses could do because there was only 2 or 3 more pushes to have out. So even if one of their players gets picked off in a situation where they're trying to charge and make the rotation, it's not going to work. As we take a look at the stats, Roy, the guy we were highlighting before, 7 and 16, not the performance that he was looking for. On the other side of things, Stellar, 17 and 8 power weapon kills, 8 power weapon kills in the hands of Liquid, only 2 for Evil Geniuses, and I think we're starting to see a trend here. I think grabbing the weapons matters.
Yeah, it definitely helps out a little bit there, that's for sure. And real story, though, I think was the assist. There was just too much teamwork and power, well, the combination. Yeah. Power weapon control with the teamwork here, just heavily assisting in
only
Liquid's
1 assist by Lunchbox.
Yeah, Lunchbox.
That's not very Lunchbox-like.
No, not at all. And it just means, like, probably most of his kills aren't getting cleaned up. He's still going to be putting out that damage. He's still going to be charging and play aggressive. Lunchbox always pretty consistent here, and it was the team just not being able to work together well enough. You could see so many times Liquid, once they got that 3 capture, were able to push back and forth from bunker and carbine side and keep that numbers advantage for so long. And when Evil Geniuses is racking up between 5 and 30 seconds at time, we saw Liquid rack up 50, 60 seconds.
Yeah, and again, the fact that they had the triple cap while the weapons came up, that's the important thing to remember, because a lot of the times you're like, all right, well, let's go stop the bleeding. But in a situation like that, you have to choose to stop the bleeding or go for the weapons. And a lot of the times, if you split up your decision between the two, you don't get either one. And I think that's what happened right there. Evil Geniuses, they now have to move into Coliseum. Slayer down in this series 0-1, definitely something that they can come back from. We've already seen Luminosity lose the first game and come back and win 3 in a row against Straight Rippin'. So it's possible, it's in the cards here if they want to do it, but it's going to be virtually impossible unless they get the rockets and the sniper rifle.
Yeah, we'll see how this one plays out. Eco was taking no shields right off the start. Wasn't able to help out Stellar Carbine side, and that's going to allow Lunchbox to escape with the rockets. Now, did Eco see him on radar? No, he did not. Lunchbox going to be able to grab yet another kill here. Quick 3, make that 4-0 lead. dream start here for Evil Geniuses.
This is exactly what Evil Geniuses needed to do. 4-0 rockets and sniper rifle, plus aware of the spawns here. And not having split spawns for Liquid is pretty important. Now if they clear these guys out, they're going to all be trapped at red. There's the split spawns, all because that player stayed alive on the elbow. What a fantastic play by Ace.
Yeah, Ace is able to secure 1 kill, but does get his face ripped off there by Falcated. Stellar grabs a kill here. Oh no, it looks like that was an eco nade that hurt Stellar, I believe there. Not even one from EG. We'll see how Snipe Control basically evens out here. It's a couple kills going over to Team Liquid's favor.
That was the Rocket guy.
Was Rocket guy here, so they still have Sniper Rifle. That player gets taken out. Sniper's down in Cave. This is perfect opportunity now for Liquid. They're starting to regain some control.
I was gonna say that in an instance like this, I mean, it was 7-1. Now it's 8-4, and they had rockets and sniper rifle, all because of the back whack that Ace got. And yeah, you did see that guy get sniped immediately. But then Lunchbox was playing way too passive with the rockets. They weren't aware of where Team Liquid was hiding. A couple of shots coming from one angle, a couple of shots coming from the other angle, and then Lunchbox loses out on the rockets. Now the weapons go right on over to Team Liquid. Nice shots there from Falcated. That was disgusting. Battle rifle versus pistol, flying out, thrusting, and perfect.
Yeah, Falcated obviously with perfect shots there to win that 1v1, but it's 10-6, and Sniper Rifle and Rockets are over here to Team Liquid. So we saw Evil Geniuses be able to build up a little bit of lead for these weapons, but just like we saw in game number 1, when Liquid has control, how much of a swing are they going to be able to do?
Not many more bullets in that sniper rifle, so he's going to switch on over to his pistol, trying to find the kill onto Lunchbox. Grabs the battle rifle as well. That's going to be Falcated, fairly weak, who has the bolt shot. You can hear coming in. Nice ground pound coming in from Sub-Zero. Not able to get the cleanup overall. Tapping buttons is going to drop to Eco's rockets, and Lunchbox staying alive underneath the base as well, being a nuisance. There's more rockets. Roy picking up a 2-for-1 that time. That's how you use that weapon.
Yeah, 15-10. That is going to be a nice little bit of breathing room there for Evil Geniuses, as now they get some of Liquid here spawning in backup blue base. Tapping buttons not able to secure either one of those kills. So great bait and switch action out of Liquid with once again a disadvantage, and being trapped at a base are able to get a kill out of it.
Curious to see what Lunchbox's play is going to be here, because he was the player flanking around the elbow with tapping buttons and just gets dropped immediately. 3-kill lead here for Evil Geniuses, but like you said, Kyle, it's so important that they build up on more than that when they do have the weapons, because we do see how deadly Team Liquid can be. And here it is, sniper rifle on the map. It's going to be a big battle over here. Liquid has 3 players pushing up the ramp on the blue side of the snipe area, and Roy now has more resources behind him. Who can take this player out over towards the sneaky? It's so important to keep his shields, and he does exactly that, so he can weaken Ace just a little bit more. But great carbine shots from Ace, and now the trade comes in, and you could just see how important the baiting and switching, laying down damage while backing off, all comes into play for eventually getting these weapons.
Tom, I'm like 80% sure that someone from EG just jumped off the map there on top of that. So we talk about, you know, getting control and using it to your advantage, and what we just potentially just had happen was once again a situation where they fall off the map and make one of those crucial mistakes.
Sorry, were you talking? I just was looking at that stick.
That stick was pretty incredible. Let's talk about that one for now. Sub-Zero is a very sticky man here, as he able to get that one and just thrust backwards. Great job by Sub-Zero.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Sub-Zero likes to throw blue things at people. That's pretty much what he does.
Yeah,
and then kills them.
Froze him.
After that, he did. Froze him with the sticky grenade. And sitting on over towards the pyramid, definitely a power position to be in, but you do need teammates to fill the rest of the map. And look at that. He's going to flank around the corner here and try to fight tapping buttons. Big 1v1, and he wins it there. In a situation, yeah, in a situation where I thought that he was definitely going to be spotted out and double teamed, but instead, Evil Geniuses rotated towards the bottom of the map. There's a double team coming in. What a fantastic clamor coming in by Sub-Zero. Even make sure that Falcated didn't fight him anymore. Now rotating on over towards the cave. That's going to be the lead, 24-23. Falcated's going to drop the Stellar as well. That's what we were talking about, Kyle. You need to build that lead just a little bit more if you're Evil Geniuses, because once Liquid gets it going, they pour it on.
All right, and not only that, they've still got Sniper and they've still got Rockets here. Now they've got all of Evil Geniuses trapped over at red base. This is going to be a scary moment. Eco looking to get a montage clip here, see what he's going to be able to do with this sniper rifle.
Nice headshot there on the Lunchbox. Give that man a killing spree. Taking a look at the stats really quick, it is Sub-Zero sitting at the top 9-6, and this man that we're watching right now 7-4. Together, these guys are positive 6 in a 4-kill game. So strong performance here from both teams, but Liquid with that 4-kill advantage trying to build on it. That's going to be a nice snipe there from Eco on the Lunchbox. Not able to get the cleanup though, so he's going to pass that one on over to Stellar. Low flank coming in from Evil Geniuses, but they're on top of it. Eco dropping underneath the base, having that battle rifle, even aware of the player in the window. Possibly a triple kill here because he has the call out from Falcated on the elbow. Instead, going to rotate back on over. Split spawns for Evil Geniuses, both elbows, red and blue side, and a player down below. And Eco is just picking them apart.
Ooh, almost sticks himself there as well. We'll be able to dodge that one. Still has some ammo left in this sniper rifle, and rather than challenging, just walking backwards, getting his advantage, using this to set up and try to get control of the new sniper rifle. Takes player no shields. He's had some teammates coming off spawn trying to get over here. Ooh, doesn't spot that player going up top catwalk, but hits yet another headshot. One shot left here in this weapon. See if he's able to put it to use.
And no one's even looking at him. That's the thing, is he just sniped Roy over there, but Tapping Buttons is too concerned about picking up Sub-Zero. Ace is there to get that cleanup as well. Eco's even responding to callouts for people that are even dead. That's how much time that he has right now. Now Evil Genius is going to come off the spawn, and it seems like this is what their play is. They like to come up on the elbow and then push down towards the runway. Instead of going all the way up towards the other elbow, they're going to make their way towards the grass this time around. That's going to be Roy finding a double kill. Nice job by Roy making his way on over towards the sneaky area, and that's going to make sure that Eco falls back now with the sniper rifle, which he has tons of ammo in.
Yeah, and just look at the angles he takes. He doesn't pop out unless he's got a player in front of him. He doesn't want to get thrown out of zoom or take any damage here with this weapon before he can catch a line of sight on someone.
Yeah, he doesn't even waste that shot on the player that was over there. And instead of going for the body shot on that player, ooh, very nice angle that he's taking on Lunchbox over here, but he's poking out just a little bit too much. Gonna try to throw this one off. Good play there, especially in a 5-kill game. Falcated coming in with the double kill, but Eco wanted to go on that spree just a little bit more. And this is good for Evil Geniuses because if there aren't any weapons on the map, then they're gonna be able to get that trade-off and kills a little bit easier. They do have rockets in the hands of Falcated, so this is their opportunity to bring this back to a tie game.
Yeah, it's a great job by Stellar actually dodging one of those rockets here, making the enemy team use up some of the ammo here. The rest of Liquid just need to make sure they don't give up any dump deaths here. Only a 3-kill lead without having any of these weapons. You can see Ace with a DMR is going to be the only one with anything besides a pistol here for the squad. While on the likes of Evil Geniuses, you got DMR, rockets, pistol, or battle rifle, carbine, and another battle rifle.
Those great shots by Tapping Buttons. I thought that grenade was going to connect for the kill. Instead, just weaken that player. He eventually gets a 3-for-1 trade in the favor of Evil Geniuses. So now a 1-kill game as Stellar. He's caught out inside the base. I'm not sure about this plan for Team Liquid to constantly be pushing out over towards the elbow. I'd like to see them focused on going towards the cave and maybe pushing on over towards the snipe side of the map. But whoever that was, I believe Sub-Zero got a huge kill down below. That resulted in 2 kills. And in a 3-kill game, that is insane, especially towards the end right here, as now Falcated's caught out down below, all because of that little flank by Sub-Zero. Not only the flank, but able to execute on his shots and getting that kill. So 4-kill game with the rockets in hand too. This is looking like a Team Liquid advantage.
That was amazing by Sub-Zero. Gets 2-for-1 trade in a situation where he could have just died to Roy and the game would have been tied. Instead, 5-kill lead. One of the biggest we've seen as we're coming down towards the end of the game. This is not what you want to be doing if you're EG.
Yeah, it's weird to say 5-kill lead is the biggest one we've seen so far, but it's true because how back and forth this game has been. It seems like Liquid, though, is in prime position here. 3 rockets overall should result in 3 kills, plus the sniper rifle coming up, so they can use those rockets to bait the sniper rifle a little bit more, or at least secure the sniper rifle, which should be a kill or 2 in itself. That's a big kill, though. Roy getting that perfect onto Ace. Now, if Evil Geniuses wants to press their advantages, that's the time to do it while they have the numbers. But if they allow Ace to come off the respawn and still have Sub-Zero with 2 of these rockets, I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, Sub-Zero grabs 1 rocket. He's still got 1 left here as he reloads, trying to protect his teammates. You can see lots of jumping around and action happening over here towards Fountain here. Sub-Zero and Ace trying to work together. Yeah, I'd like to see Sub-Zero push. Stellar is going to be able to clean up 1 himself. So only 2 kills away from taking an advantage in this series of 2-0. And we'll see if they're going to be able to close it out there. Lunchbox answers back with a kill of his own. Wow. Sub-Zero turns over a rocket. That is big.
That's exactly what I was going to say, but he does have Stellar there to get the cleanup or get the pickup on the rocket instead. I was going to say that I feel like Sub-Zero is afraid to push in there. 48-47 is a couple kills get pushed up, and they do have sniper rifle. Sub-Zero trying to get this kill onto Lunchbox. He's able to find it. That's the 50th kill right there onto Roy. Roy's no shields in the back of the base, but there's 2 people inside of the window. Wow, this is insane.
Oh,
Roy finding the
just
snipe.
got cleaned up from the window. They're going to try to collapse on Sub-Zero. That's the play they need to do. Do they have any more grenades? 1 more comes in, takes him absolutely no shields. They're not pushing on him yet. Sub-Zero gets an extra life here almost.
Oh my goodness. This is absolutely insane. There's 4 players right now on all of the side of the map. Oh, Roy with the snipe right there as the grenade does connect on the Sub-Zero. I thought he was going to get out of there as soon as he started to get whaled with those grenades, or I thought he was going to even challenge Roy as he was no shields in the back of the base right there to try to get the 50th kill, but no.
I bet he wants that one back.
Tied up 1-1 now.
Yeah, that could have been an interesting challenge. I don't think he knew Roy was weak, but it looked like he actually had some damage down on him. Sub-Zero could have challenged that, potentially traded, and ended the game 50-47, but instead they give EG time and breathing room to get back into the game. Roy, of course, going extremely clutch at the end of that game. I mean, he finishes 16, 10, and 10. Monster stats on top of finishing off the last 2 kills at least. Don't know, can't remember what happened right before that, but he got the 49th and 50th kill.
Right, and look at the power weapon kills there. It's not as big of a difference as we've seen in other games. So Evil Geniuses obviously finding the recipe for success there. Get the rockets, get the sniper rifle. Not only that, put it to use. 10 power weapon kills overall for them, 13 overall for Team Liquid. What a fantastic win there for Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, that was just great overall play there from EG. Just not quitting when they're down by that much and at such a disadvantage. And that was absolutely Liquid letting that one sneak by, as they could have been in prime position.
I mean, 45-40. Rockets and sniper rifle in their hands. That was just a huge mistake there, especially by Sub-Zero to push in with that risky angle. When he did see his teammate spawn up over in the fountain, that could have been the worst possible spawn for Team Liquid, because that resulted in a death for that player in the fountain. That also resulted in Sub-Zero overextending to try to help that player stay alive. I understand exactly where the thought process is. If that guy pops up over there and there's a guy right there, he's going to be looking at him, so I come around the corner. I get it. But I was going to say, Sub-Zero, he's playing this so smart because he doesn't want to charge into the window and leave his back exposed to the other players on the side of the map. As I was thinking that, exactly opposite of what happens. He charges in there, loses those rockets. Roy picks up the sniper rifle, and the rest is history, 50-49. But I'm shocked to see Team Liquid in a situation where, again, 5-kill lead, only 5 more kills to go. They have everything on the map, and EG takes that win. That win is much bigger than just a single game for Evil Geniuses, not only just for this series, but goes to show the same thing that we saw from Liquid last week, where anything could happen. 15-kill deficit for Liquid last week. They came back and won that one on the rig, and now we're seeing the same type of resiliency here on Coliseum from EG.
And that's why you have to play every death to its fullest. That was a scenario where Liquid was probably looking at it, hey, we got rockets, we've got this nice lead, we're starting to close out the game, and sure enough, they make just a couple little mistakes, maybe just being a little too rushed to close out the game, and sure enough, it allows EG and Roy to make some clutch plays to actually tie this series up 1-1. So overall, EG showing life, getting back into this one. Now it's up to Liquid to really bounce back.
Yeah, and it looks like game number 3 has to be CTF, most likely Fathom, because game 1 was a stronghold. So another thing to keep in mind is we didn't touch base on Rick's strongholds going on over the favor of Liquid. That there was a point in time where Evil Geniuses was 5-0 during the summer in strongholds specifically.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's a really good point to bring up as well. So this is going to be CTF on Fathom. We'll see if these teams and Liquid and controlling those power weapons, if they're going to be able to bounce back after that loss, because that's another kind of disheartening loss that can definitely cause turmoil within a game or within a series within the team, and you really need to make sure that doesn't affect you here, because I mean, they can't be happy about that one.
Well, that's one of those games that they're probably still talking about right now. Probably some curse words in the middle of that too, but you're right, that could cause turmoil, and that's one of the keys is focusing on Fathom CTF now, because Evil Geniuses, they're not reminiscing about the previous game, how cool it was that Roy got the last snipe. They're focusing on CTF Fathom right now, grabbing the railgun, getting the camo, what the beginning strats are going to be, what their keys to success are in this game, talking about maybe some defensive postures that they like to hold. So that is huge momentum going on over, especially because it was Roy who had that bad game number 1 in terms of his kills and deaths. Yeah, he did have 11 assists, Lunchbox Twin Brother only with 1, probably stealing all of his kills. But either way, I feel like that's going to really bring up the rest of these guys when your vocal leader is coming in and picking up that last kill.
Yeah, and a great start here by Lunchbox. Actually picks up that kill onto Sub-Zero, who had the railgun, so that's down front of the base, and a collapse from EG coming in real quick. Roy grabs one, Lunch grabs another one. That's a 3v2 situation, and they are pushing in the base, but just like that, Eco and Sub-Zero answer back, pick up 2 kills of their own.
Look, crouching around the corner right there. Falcated getting the 1-2-3 eco right there as he grabs the battle rifle now, rotating on over towards the silo. A bunch of grenades there, getting 4 grenades. Gonna just continue to chuck those one on over towards the porch. Gonna get the hit marker onto one. Sub-Zero gonna find one. Stellar gonna find one as well. That's a weak player. The last player alive is in that porch area. They are gonna get split spawns over on towards the elbow. So unfortunate there for Team Liquid as they did not clear that player out quick enough. Once Eco got that hit marker, I would have loved to see him fly in and get aggressive.
Yeah, we'll see. Everything's kind of evening out again here as we're watching Falcated get some shots down onto Ace. There's 2 members of Liquid here over by the garage. They're going to try to double team or work together here on Lunchbox, but that's not going to work out. Just too much teamwork coming out of EG, and they answer with a big trade.
Roy's in the base though and pulling this flag. He's pulling this while there's staggered deaths as well, so it wasn't like a fresh 2 or 3 dead. He was pulling this while multiple players were on the other side of the map, so trying to capitalize on the positioning right now. Good grenade onto Stellar. Does that one connect? He does get the hit markers, trying to bait this flag, but there's multiple players from Team Liquid pushing in from the bottom middle area. Does get a double kill from Lunchbox, but you do have another player there to go for the flag. It's going to be Falcated grabbing it, getting the touch. Stellar's last guy alive right now for Team Liquid, and the flag has been returned. It's going to be Evil Geniuses carrying that momentum from the previous game into this one with the first flag cap. And Kyle, it almost could have been 2 flag caps based on the way that they started this game.
Yeah, and the start was just absolutely incredible for Evil Geniuses, and it's been Liquid trying to catch their footing here again. They do have top center control, but it's going to take more than that to get any of these flags in. As you can see there in the kill feed, Stellar picks up a big kill on tapping buttons, but Falcated playing some defense in his base, does take a player no shields, but now he's getting collapsed on.
I mean, the last 20 seconds of Falcated's screen just goes to show you why the radar needed to be changed, because, well, tapping button's gonna go a little swimming right there, and that's gonna be possibly a flag cap there for Team Liquid. But just going back to Falcated's screen, there was a player that was in front of him on the porch that could have easily appeared on the old radar. Then he comes in and melees that player, which looks like it's an assassination, and predicts he's gonna rotate on over towards the porch. That is just, it's so refreshing to see the radar change, because you're allowed to go and make these maneuvers and plays that you wouldn't normally do. Just frees you up to make so many better decisions, and it's just so much better to watch.
Yeah, we'll see what kind of decisions Stellar makes here with this railgun. He's got 1 shot, or 2 left here overall, 1 still in the chamber. 9 minutes left to play, and since they've tied this one up, it's going to be a lot more of a comfortable situation here. Tapping Bun says, I'm not down for this fight here, I'm just going to peace out.
Yeah, smart by him, just pegging a couple shots into this railgun player, but Stellar has too much support over towards the red treehouse. Now he's going to try to rotate on over towards top center with this railgun. Roy does have the light rifle, took him down to half shield, so he's going to have to retreat now. Sub-Zero going to come in with the distraction. Tapping buttons, getting that trade-off instead. So now Stellar back to square one over here, trying to make his way back up there, but you can tell the Brown Twins are not having that. That's going to be Twin Brother Lunchbox laying down some fire from the porch. A couple players flanking on over towards the silo. Stellar doesn't realize it, but if he does charge this and gets this kill, he does have a free flag run. Nice beat down onto Lunchbox. That is a huge kill, because now he is in position to run this one while there's multiple players. Oh, 3 dead now. That is a nice play by Tapping Buttons to try to get that flag down, and he does, but now that is a flag cap for Team Liquid unless someone does some miraculous grenades. That is it. 2-1 now for Liquid. All Stellar.
I was going to say, can I just talk about Stellar for a second there? He was getting triple teamed while he was top center. Just took amazing positions left and right. Whenever the guy who should have been shooting at him, whenever he looked away, that's when Stellar made the move, and sure enough, that was MVP of that flag capture.
Yeah, definitely. Taking a look at the stats in the kills department, it's Lunchbox shining right now. Has more kills than his entire team combined, sitting at 12. So now Tapping Buttons puts up the 24th kill overall for Evil Geniuses. But it is Liquid on the scoreboard right now with the 2-1 advantage. It looks like Lunchbox is just waiting for Ace to make his way over towards top center so he could take him as weak as possible, possibly pick up that kill. Roy's going to come in with the cleanup now. Lunchbox, what's he going to do with this camouflage? It doesn't seem like he's aware of where the players for Liquid are. That's going to be a player jumping up towards top center. Stellar coming in with the beatdown, flying right through, and even avoiding Lunchbox. That has to be so frustrating for your teammate. You just end up looking where Lunchbox is, you assume that he has your back, the guy flies right past Lunchbox, kills you, and stays alive.
Yeah, that is definitely, and please tell me that wasn't Roy, because you know those two are yelling at each other right now, blaming those deaths on each other if that was the case.
Wow, all of that. Lunchbox with camo, doing so much, had the most kills in this game, more than his entire team combined. And when we switched to his screen, it looks like he was really just accomplishing nothing because of the fact that Liquid was just forming all around him. He had to hide. He was the last guy alive. So fantastic job by Liquid. But while all that's happening, after they shut Lunchbox down with that camo, they have complete numbers advantage on the side of Evil Geniuses. The one thing that Liquid does have going for them is Sub-Zero with that railgun, but Roy's gonna drop him with that battle rifle now, tapping buttons, pulling this one while he's weak. Stellar clutching it up with that kill. That's gonna stop this pull just for a little bit. Lunchbox coming in, getting that kill as well. Railgun on the map, Sub-Zero locking things down on over towards the porch side, but it doesn't look like he's gonna be able to stop this flat cap. Time for Liquid to regroup and try to get top center. 3 players flanking on over towards the elbow. That's gonna give so much information on over to Liquid, so much where they may be able to push in and grab this flag.
Yeah, so they're going to be able to get some control here. Wow, and who is that? Sub-Zero does an amazing job buying time in front of the base here. And the railgun was in Falcated's hands, so he does help get that out of there. But Eco just loses a big 1v1 to Lunchbox as well.
Wow, that was fantastic bait and switch coming in from Evil Geniuses. I even liked the way that Ace was playing that one, but instead, advantage on over to EG. And this is big, Kyle. I mean, we just saw 50-49 in game 2. Liquid could have been up, 2-0 in this series, up 2-1 in this game, ready to lock down a 3-0. Instead, we're possibly looking at Evil Geniuses with a miraculous comeback in game number 2, potentially miraculous comeback here in game number 3, and being up 2-1 in a series against a team that went undefeated last week.
Yeah, and you can see in there in the kill feed there, Falcated had 2 shots with the railgun, put both of them to use. Big battles here happening in the base. Falcated grabs yet another one. Might be looking at a flagpole as 3 members are dead here for Team Liquid. This could be the nail in the coffin. We could see EG taking a series lead.
Well, Sub-Zero gets a big kill onto Roy. Is it going to be him to come through with the return? I really would have loved to see Falcated continue to run that flag and just toss it inside of the window for a player for Evil Geniuses to put that one in. Instead, they're going to try to overslay over here. Big 1v1. Ace is going to win that one. Last guy alive for Team Liquid is top center. That's going to be Falcated coming in with the grab, tossing it on over towards the porch. That was Sub-Zero off the spawn, tapping buttons coming off spawn as well. But it's going to be Roy with the snipe. 50-49 in Coliseum, and with the last flag capture in Fathom 3-2.
EG does not want to lose this series here, and they are really showing up today, especially the twins here, Lunchbox and Roy. We'll take a look at the stats here in a minute. Actually, I'm going to pull those up right now. We see Lunchbox 21-15, so going big. Roy himself 13-10-12, so still positive.
Yeah.
And he had 2 caps and 1 of the grabs here. That was only 3 grabs, so that was EG 100% on their flag grabs, capping them.
4 power weapon kills for Sub-Zero specifically, none for the rest of Liquid. 3 coming out from the rest of Evil Geniuses overall, so nothing too substantial in that area, but 21-15. And then on the other hand, Ace, not his best performance, even though he did have a lot of assists. Ace was the worst in the kills and deaths department in both of those games that they did lost. So I'm looking for him to step it up here moving into game number 4.
Yeah, I mean, they all are going to have to step it up here right now because they are down 2-1. The first time they found themselves in this position here since they formed this roster. So that was Ace got 9 kills, 15 assists, 15 deaths. So yeah, we'll want to see Ace pick it up here as we are going to be going into another strongholds. And this is a little scary considering.
Well, this is good for Evil Geniuses.
Right, exactly.
I mean, this is great for Evil Geniuses being up 2-1, but this is what I was talking about with the game types, because these game types favor Evil Geniuses' communication and play style, and also now that they go into Empire Strongholds, again, they are a phenomenal Strongholds team, so the fact that they got a pull, and instead of having 2 CTFs, even though they just proved to us right there that they can beat Liquid, not easily in a CTF, but they handled them with a fantastic comeback nonetheless. Empire Strongholds is one of those game types that if you get control, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. And Evil Geniuses, even though each game they haven't had as many power weapon kills, this doesn't have any power weapons here. So if they can get on top of the camo, if they can get on top of the overshield, if they can get some sort of momentum, because of the fact that they had all of that momentum in the world after game number 2, this is another one of those game types that could go into their hands.
Yeah, like we said, game number 4 is going to be Empire Strongholds here, so we will see which team is going to be able to rotate back and forth between the side bases and their strongholds and just keep the enemy team off of a spawn cycle. So generally, yeah, of course, you want to hold bottom middle the entire game, but a lot of the times with how quickly you can come off respawn and just start throwing grenades into that bottom mid stronghold, sometimes you have to focus on an outside push to control the opposite base before you can grab that control. And Lunchbox, Roy, these guys are 2 players that love to be aggressive and just fly back and forth constantly across the map and just keeping the enemy team on spawn.
And we saw Roy with a huge game number 2, especially towards the end. We saw Lunchbox with a huge game number 3. Now this is an opportunity for Falcated or Tapping Buttons to come through. Yeah, Falcated and Tapping Buttons, they've been there all 3 games here. They've been huge in the wins. They've been huge in the losses as well. But in the kills and deaths department especially, I feel like this is one of those almost defining series for one of these young players on the team. We've already seen Lunchbox go huge. We've already seen Roy go huge. I'm looking out for Tapping Buttons here especially.
Yeah, I mean, I want to point out Falcated, that last flag capture, he had railgun and killed 3 of the people, and he might have even been the guy to pull the flag. He was actually. Ran it almost all the way across the map.
And I thought that he made a little bit of a misplay by not continuing to run that flag all the way. Seemed like they kind of had a freak out in communication.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely was an opportunity for Liquid to get back in there, but can't take anything away. Falcated, 3 kills and the flag pull on the final one.
Yeah, exactly. And it looks like Eco is going to fly out the window over here. I actually really like that beginning strategy. And he's going to get lit up, though, however. It looks like Evil Geniuses is aware of this one. Overshield not picked up quite yet. Looks like Eco's going to be the man to go for this one. Picks it up and burns it. Lunchbox, Falcated finding a couple of kills. And the pit going on. Ooh, there it is. Pit going on over to EG.
Yeah, so it's going to be, once again, another awesome opening strategy here for Team Liquid as they get that OS burn, and they're going to be the first ones to put any kind of points here on the board. So there are going to be some hit markers here on Lunchbox, but nobody's looking over there. Ace is going to get taken out. Some action there. Trade happens top tower, so now we're going to back to a 2v2.
Yeah, 2v2 Lunchbox here with the green gun still, and plenty left on that 61%. So he's fighting multiple players out here. Gonna drop Cellar with the help of Falcated, and now just continuing to milk the time. And let's switch on over to Tapping Buttons and see what he has in store for us. Just fantastic newcomer here into the scene, has been dominating inside of the scrims. Now trying to prove himself here in this game number 4 in the Pro League. You can see multiple players trapped in the security right now for Team Liquid. They're trying to find their way in over towards the pit. It's about getting that numbers advantage eventually. It's going to be a 3-on-3 right now. Roy going to drop, so now numbers advantage going on over to Liquid. This is possibly when they're going to make their play now. They sent 2 players on over to the pit, and they steal away from Evil Geniuses.
Oh, and looks like everyone in bottom mid was able to stay alive, so they still have a numbers advantage as we're watching Ace into a battle with Falcated here. You definitely want to come out ahead here. Looks like Falcated decides to back off. Ace is just waiting there for some help from some teammates here. Now we're going to be looking at a base swap as Evil Geniuses does the right decision here and just secures red.
Yeah, that's the right play from both teams. You can see Liquid going on over to capture that one, so they're going to be able to get some points on the board. And heads up play by Evil Genius as well to rotate onto the outside. But this is going to be the big battle towards the outside area because Overshield's coming up and Ace finding a double kill. Is he going to push the advantage for the triple cap, or is he going to try to add some pressure on over towards the security, potentially just lock down outside in the turbine area since Overshield's coming up any second? I feel like this is the right play over here. Just crouch underneath the fan, and on the sneaky, he did appear on the radar though with that thrust, and now everyone from Evil Geniuses is going to catch him. That is just great timing overall from this push from EG, and just a little bit poor use of his positioning there by Ace.
Yeah, it looks like just too many members of EG flooding outside to secure this overshield, and Liquid elected to go for the triple cap as opposed to contesting for that overshield. So we'll see if it pays off in their favor. It's not looking good though. It's 3 dead. Ace is the last guy trying to contest bottom mid. Looks like he's going to elect just to stay alive here.
Man, this is like a insane turn of events for Evil Geniuses season ever since they picked up Tapping Buttons. No one could have ever predicted how this player would have eventually just reinvigorated the entire lineup over here. It seems like Tapping Buttons, even though his playstyle seems to be much more of a slayer, has just made everybody on Evil Geniuses even better, which is ridiculous to think about where these guys came from, their ups and downs from winning X Games Gold to almost facing the verge of relegation and constantly struggling at these LAN events. Now they're looking almost as strong as they did ever. It's insane to see them put this together. at this point in time where everyone counted them out. So just fantastic news for Evil Geniuses fans, and winning this series would be the cherry on the top.
Yeah, it looks like they want to get a few kills here. They do clear out Evil Geniuses from bottom mid, so they're still able to accumulate some time, but they're going for the side base. Will they get in time? This looks like their contest will come in from Sub-Zero, and the kill. What a reset here for Liquid.
Yeah, what a reset there from Liquid. They needed it too. I mean, the momentum was just so much in the favor of Evil Geniuses. Every decision that Evil Geniuses making as a team just working out for them. And now Liquid gonna have to just control this bottom middle area as long as they can. Camo and Overshield popping up here, and this is what we saw help them so much in game number 1 in their victory on Rig Strongholds. Was we saw mistakes from Evil Geniuses right around that 0-0 mark, which is not when you want to make them when you do have these power-ups and power weapons coming up. Falcade flying into the side base, getting that reset, that's going to be pretty big, but you can see Liquid continuing to add pressure allows them to pick up these power-ups.
Yeah, I mean, Liquid is perfectly okay with this. As long as they're keeping EG trying to defend the one stronghold that they have, they're going to continue racking up time, maybe even grab some of these power-ups. As you see now, Ace has that camo. He needs to play this one smart, though, because you do not want to risk any guy with an overshield running around and take you out.
Yeah, it's tough when you have camo and the enemy team has dropped a couple of your players, and now you're in a situation where you may have wanted to play a little bit more conservative, but Ace did the right thing. He just made sure he didn't show anywhere on the map and didn't shoot, didn't thrust, didn't even give away his position at all. Waited to gather information from his teammates and then responded because of that. It's a lot easier when you do have the stronghold in the pit, but still, nonetheless, that was a good opportunity for Evil Geniuses to get back and retake control if Ace didn't play that the correct way.
Ooh, and Ace is just running around trying to stay, or trying his best to stay alive as Roy grabs yet a double kill here. Now the lead is going to be over to Team Liquid as they've been able to put up a lot of points here on the board with this last control.
Roy has picked up numerous kills. That's back-to-back double kills for him. A staggered extermination overall, and now he's going to rotate on over towards the security side with the battle rifle. Could do some serious damage on this side of the map. Does see the grenade projectile coming out from Sub-Zero, excuse me, as he waits for that player to push out so he can weaken him. And now the teamwork coming in from Team Liquid. Great response of a call out there from Ace and Sub-Zero working together. That's going to possibly open up the pit here for Team Liquid, and it does. You can see multiple players now flooding in from Evil Geniuses. That's going to force tapping buttons out. Lunchbox and get the kill onto Eco, but it's not going to matter much in the grand scheme of things because Pit going right back on over to Team Liquid.
Yeah, EG not able to get enough time or as much time as they would have really liked to in that situation. Liquid just right back into it, and you can see on this the side of your screen the weapons that they have just heavily in favor of Team Liquid.
Evil Geniuses making their way back towards the pit. 3 dead though, now Falcade the last guy alive. Falcade at least picking up a kill. Very difficult to do while you're the last guy alive. Now you're gonna see Overshield and Camo up, so what's gonna be the play for EG? It looks like Lunchbox is the one to grab that. You do have to watch out for the green gun though. That's gonna be Sub-Zero with that one, so you can assume that Falcade is screaming that call out to his teammate. A teammate though comes in onto Ace. That's gonna weaken his teammate, and now Stellar flying in the pit with the reset as well. Roy did rotate on over, and they did capture the side bases for Evil Geniuses, but it got returned right back on from Team Liquid. So that Overshield didn't capture the pit, and typically you're going to see Evil Geniuses want to trade that for some sort of control. Now they're getting into the pit, and they're taking the side base, so great opportunity for these guys to come back.
Yeah, and we'll see how this one works out. As it is Liquid with the camo, and they grab, looks like 2 kills so far. Another player bottom mid, no shields. Big battle happening here in the base. Ace versus Roy, and it is going to be Roy coming out ahead there. Now, this is a really good position as we've seen Evil Geniuses might have the first triple cap really that we've seen so far this game here. 2 members of EG still over here in red base, 1 more outside. This is going to be a tough position to challenge.
This is great for Evil Geniuses. Stellar needs to get this kill though, and he's not able to find it because Falcade comes in with the flank. Now Ace off the spawn, Sub-Zero coming off the spawn as well. They're gonna get split spawns here for Team Liquid. Big perfect coming out from, it looks like potentially both players, but Sub-Zero doesn't get that one. What a grenade from Eco, just in the pit, tossing him over towards Falcade. Doesn't have anyone else hopping in the pit with him, but it doesn't matter. doesn't even need reinforcements. That is just a big blunder towards the end of the game there for Evil Geniuses, giving up the pit so easily.
Yeah, that was amazingly clutch by Eco to actually secure that one, because as we come down to the end of this game here, got overshielded about 20 seconds here. Liquid already hitting the 90 points with the lead and a 4v2 advantage currently. Make that another player dead. They're going to have to wait for it to come off of spawn. Liquid doing the smart thing, just staying aggressive here. They're going to have a triple cap as we come down to the end of this game here. They can push back across the map here. That's going to be it, yeah. And essentially, nobody's in bottom mid, or we just get one player in there, but they're going to need two as we have the contest, and that's it, Tom. We are going to our very first game number 5 of the week.
Yeah, this is something that is, we were looking forward to when the day started, and now, even after this series, we're going to have Optic taking on Splice.
Wow,
so
yeah.
we are due for some very intense Halo in the next, 3 to 4 or 5 games here that we're going to see. Maybe even 6 if that one goes to game number 5 in the next series. Taking a look at the stats overall, damage-wise, look at Sub-Zero and Stellar dropping 3,000 each. Eco below 2,000. Ace kind of sitting around that same mark. Kills and deaths, obviously not even outslayed on the Evil Geniuses side, but still, it was Team Liquid taking them down. A lot of that having to do with, in my opinion, the end of the game is a big mistake by Evil Geniuses. Sitting inside, sitting in the window as well, 3 players on the flag, and allowing Eco to take the pit while getting kills from the pit is kind of unacceptable. And
Yeah,
this
he
is it
got
right
2
here.
kills in pit, yeah.
See, they're all fighting this one guy outside, but while that's happening, you don't need 3 guys focusing on that one guy and capturing a side base. While that was happening, multiple players for Liquid just ran into the pit and just stole that game from Evil Geniuses. That could have been such a big win for EG. I mean, now they go into game 5. If they lose this game 5, it's still a pretty nice showing by them overall, but big missed opportunity if they can't win this one.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't, you need to be able to close out this series when you have the opportunities, and that's not what EG did. That was Eco running bottom mid, gets a kill with just frag grenades, and then gets a secondary kill with a DMR, all while getting time in the hill.
Yeah.
That puts the last 2 guys on EG who were fighting outside, just not be able to do anything.
Eco would have had 5 kills if it wasn't for that last little spree right there that he had. So he would have been 5 and 15 overall, but instead he was able to pull that out. And sometimes that's the type of plays that you got to make right there. If you're not having the best kill, he had 7 captures in the stronghold. That's a lot, don't get me wrong, but sometimes those are the plays that you got to make, and to keep your head up like that if you're Eco and say, hey, I'm not having the best performance overall, I have less than 10 kills, I'm kind of doubling that in deaths, but my opportunity is going to come, and it came at the end of the game when they needed him the most, just off that little grenade headshot right there, and his positioning in the pit virtually secured that one for Team Liquid. For them to win that game while getting outslayed shows that they won't give up either. So both of these teams, Team Liquid proved so much last week, Evil Geniuses has proved so much after picking up tapping buttons, and now we're going to see officially what team is going to be the better team in this particular matchup on Eden Slayer.
Yeah, so an Eden Slayer game number 5. That is going to be interesting. Do you see this benefiting either team?
I'm not sure here, but it's going to be tough to say. I feel like this is going to be one of those instances where it could be a momentum thing, where Evil Geniuses could have lost a little bit of steam because that 50-49 win after game number 2, I felt like kind of propelled them into game number 3 as well on CTF Fathom. But this series, it really couldn't be any closer besides, game number 1, which was I think like 100-48 or something like that in the favor of Team Liquid. But, red side coming out overall for Team Liquid means that they're not going to be able to get the sniper rifle as easy as they would like from the blue side. So I'm curious to see, if anything, what happens with the overshield to start this one, and then what's the strategy for Evil Geniuses in terms of going for the sniper rifle. Who's going to be that player that grabs it? I mean, any one of these guys, all 4 of them could potentially go in, but I want to see who they have the most confidence here to start this game.
Yeah, I mean, the beginning of this game is going to tell a lot, as we've seen some extremely close Eden Slayers. Lots of rotations happening, lots of pretty much just almost hiding until you can get some of the power weapons and power-ups there. And we've seen EG excel on some of these and struggle at the same time. So it'll be interesting to see how they're going to fit with this tapping buttons and falcated lineup, and how Liquid's going to bounce back or continue this momentum from the game number 4 here and try to win finally the Slayer, since they lost 50-49 game 2.
Well, if last game was a Slayer, Evil Geniuses would have won.
Yep.
So on the bright side, maybe Evil Geniuses could think about that going into this one. Tapping Buttons was 18 and 13 in that game. So still stand behind what I was saying before Empire Stronghold started was in the games that Evil Geniuses has won, Lunchbox and Roy looking extremely good. I'm looking at Falcade, I'm looking at Tapping Buttons here. I want to see one of these guys, one of these young guns, go off with a sniper rifle. I want to see something miraculous happen when they get the weapons in their hands. I feel like that's kind of what all this is built up for. On the other hand, Team Liquid, they're looking for either a strong individual performance coming out from someone maybe like a Sub-Zero or maybe the new pickup Ace. I mean, we've already seen Stellar putting in some serious work. We saw at the end of that last game, Eco really clutching it up. So I'm looking at these other players to really step it up here in this series.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have to. This is game 5. The 2 games that they lost, obviously extremely close, a 3-2 flag, a 50-49 TS game. So considering the fact that they were just so close to being up 4-0 in this series, essentially, or just winning all of these games, they do not want to let this loss, the first loss since their new team change, come from 2 missed opportunities in games and a failing game 5.
Yeah, exactly. And that's something that we've seen just demoralize teams over and over again. We've seen it with Strip and even this season with losing so many game 2s. We saw it with Evil Geniuses before where they haven't been able to close out series. We saw when Allegiance was in the Pro League where they had so many game 5s that they lost, like I think it was like 5 out of 7 or 8 series at one point were game 5 losses for them. So it doesn't matter what the series score was at the end of the day. It just really comes down to who's going to be able to get that debut. So I'm really excited to see what the opening strategy is going to be for this team because obviously the dynamic with the game types have changed just a little bit. Well, a lot, obviously, especially in Eden Slayer. So you're going to see players making their way outside for that overshield, setting up for that overshield. There's going to be a lot of important rotations coming around. And then I want to see what happens when someone gets a setup here because we saw Team Liquid, they seem to be the team when they get the setup, they really put the hurting on. Meanwhile, if it's kind of even footing, no weapons on the map, that's when Evil Geniuses really starts to excel.
Yeah, and like we said, we are heading into Series 3, game number 5, 2-2, Team Liquid versus Evil Geniuses, and these teams, like, they might be tied if EG wins this as far as series wins.
Wow, Sub-Zero gets away with it, just charging outside directly for that overshield, and he wins it somehow. And now look at this, Ace in a 2-on-1 situation even gets a trade.
Was that the camo player he traded with too?
If there was a camo on the map, yeah, Kyle, that would have been the camo guy.
You are right there, but now we are looking at Falcated screen. He's just kind of hiding here in the corner. Now, one thing to point out is you can see on the side cams there is going to be a sniper rifle in the hands of Eco. That was a great play by Falcated.
I can't believe he got the reversal off that. I guess the green gun was so strong that it just like went into Sub-Zero's body and just like imploded from the inside. Eco, he's going to find a sniper rifle kill onto Falcated. Look at this though. Roy and whoever that is to his left just slow playing it as slow as possible. I mean, they're both crouching on the stairs there, so if a grenade came in, that would be very dangerous for Evil Geniuses, but it looks like that's Tapping Buttons that he's working with. So I like this idea a little bit better. Maybe spread out just a little bit further, guys.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody pops out of that door there, they're going to get lit up there. 5-2 lead with sniper rifles, so this is going to be a very disciplined Team Liquid squad that this kind of strategy might not actually work out against.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see if EG is going to slow this down so much that they're going to wait until the next overshield, because to me, that seems to be the right play. Meanwhile, if they're making the right play, what is going to be the play from Liquid? The best thing to do would probably be to distract someone outside towards that blue door area, but really flood towards top catwalk area and focus on the mid bridge. A lot of times when teams posture outside a little bit too much, then they can get punished by flankers coming in from the inside.
Now we are still here with Roy. As you can see, they're finally, EG starting to get aggressive, push up into this base though, but you see Sub-Zero grabs a kill, Ace grabs one, Roy has no shields over here towards blue. They're just backing down, waiting for some help before they push back in.
Yeah, that was great, just patience from both teams and great execution overall from Team Liquid. The amount of baiting and switching that they're doing, just staying alive, especially Ace, is just fantastic.
Right, now we'll see what Ace decides to do here. He's pushing out of the base, gets 4 shots down. That's going to be a player no shields over in Turbine. Likes to just stay alive here, wants to keep working with Stellar. You can see in the screen Penguin or Zane or Sub-Zero over there towards security. Still working, trying to stay alive, but he does get taken out by Roy.
Yeah, and Ace has just been such a nuisance over here, so much, Kyle, that he's running out of ammo. So he has to switch on over to his pistol because of the amount of battle rifle shots that he's laid down overall. And now the rotation is coming in from Liquid. You could tell how comfortable these guys are. It looks like they've been a team now for quite some time. Yes, they've kept the same core, the same three, Stellar, Sub-Zero, and Ego. But Ace, the way that he was fitting in and baiting and switching on over towards that blue plat was phenomenal. Now Ego is going to find the sniper rifle and continue to lay down some serious damage. So let's see what he's got in store for us. Right when we switch, Lunchbox flies in with the perfect shots.
Yeah, and that's going to be Ace trapped out there at Blue Bend. You can see EG just selects to cut off that angle, focus across the map for a minute. They're going to get that new sniper rifle as well, so we might see a sniper standoff here again as Stellar's got one and Tapping Buttons got one.
Nice shot there from Tapping Buttons. This is Evil 4, where now Liquid is going to be in the Evil Geniuses spot, camping outside, and Evil Geniuses has the setup over towards blue base. Tapping Buttons with a sneaky little play around the corner, but too much help from Liquid, and that's what we're talking about. Liquid baiting and switching and teamwork is really on another level right now.
Yeah, I mean, either way, it looked like Ego got that two-shot melee, so Tapping Buttons, he was going down regardless, and just like that, look at those player outlines. Liquid has all four members of EG trapped over at security. Now they are pushing out and getting over here towards red base. It looks like Ace is starting to recognize that, but he's got to be careful here. He's got a sniper in his hands too, but how much help does he actually have?
Not much, because Lunchbox coming around with the flank. Tapping Buttons finding one in the Stellar as well. Looks like they're just waiting for that overshield to pop up. Sub-Zero takes a little bit of damage, but not as much as Evil Geniuses would have liked. And now that's going to be a sniper rifle going on over to Zane's hand. Let's see what he's going to be able to do with it. Not much ammo left in that gun. I believe Eco has the one that's a little bit more full. And now they're going to add extreme aggression on over to Lunchbox over towards the security area. And that's what you need to do when you have the overshield. There's no reason to try to wait for it and hide around like your camo. It's a great opportunity to charge in. And, you know, Kyle, if you don't use it, you lose it.
That is very true. 22-13, so healthy lead in this game. And look at those the weapons there. They've got both snipers here. One in Eco's hands. Now Sub-Zero only got one shot left, but this puts just EG in a scary position. They might not necessarily know how little ammo he has. All they know is they've got two people that can kill him with one shot from across the map.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a pretty sizable lead right now, but can't count out Evil Geniuses, especially what we saw in game number 2. On Coliseum. Nice little quick scope right there on the Lunchbox. Falcon going to come around the corner and get the cleanup there on the Sub-Zero. Great teamwork coming in from these guys, but Eco still laying down damage with that sniper rifle and has 4 bullets left.
Yeah, you can see he already grabbed the one headshot. He knows there's a player over here towards red base still. Roy, rather than challenging anything, he's just waiting for some help, getting his teammates alive here. He does not want to give up any more deaths. They recognize Liquid's already hit the halfway point, and they're only sitting at 14 kills.
Yeah, this has been a very methodical game from Team Liquid. They seem to be extremely comfortable on Eden Slayer, more so than they did on Coliseum overall. But Eden is one of those game types that is a little bit, has a little bit more layers, strategically speaking. Ooh, nice job by Eco landing that no-scope. Even gets the distraction medal right there from Stellar. But it's a little bit more detailed in terms of the level of strategy that you need in Eden, the rotations and the teamwork. And that's what you're kind of seeing right now from Liquid. They're just a little bit more oriented. Maybe it's just this game type, or maybe they're just kind of rising to the occasion here. But it's just been really nice to watch them just kind of be one step ahead of Evil Geniuses. And Lunchbox does get sniper rifle and overshield, so this could be the opportunity to come back. But it's a 13 kill lead now that they have to make up.
Yeah, that is a big one. And Liquid, they got to be careful here as Eco just gives up a death. You do not want to let this lead shrink any here, especially when the enemy team has the advantages as far as OS and sniper rifle control. So we are on board here with Tapping Buttons. Backing down, he is weak. He's going outside, maybe trying to help out Lunchbox here. He's on the bed, battling several players. The collapse is coming in. Lunchbox had the sniper, had the OS, gets taken out, gets challenged by Ace, and Ace picks up a nice double kill.
Yeah, and he did eventually drop right there, but he could have stayed alive. That would have been insane. Now Falcated on the ropes as Eco is going to drop him. Kyle, I'm curious to see how many kills Eco currently has. He's sitting at 14-2. Are you kidding me? Why are we watching anyone else? Here we go.
14-3 now. 39-22. Liquid is just running away with this game 5. Ace grabs himself a triple kill there. As you can see him pick up a perfect on Tapping Button. Sub-Zero wins another 1v1 against Lunchbox, and Tom, this is going to mark this up to one of those anticlimactic game number 5s.
Well, way to ruin it, Kyle. Jeez. How do the fans know that this isn't going to 50-49?
Well, we don't know this isn't going to 50-49 either, but if I was a gambling man, this is what I would say.
I'm just kidding. It's not observer mode anymore, guys. This is spectator mode. This is live. Or wait, we're in observer mode.
Other way,
spectator mode. Either way, I get confused about the whole thing, but either way.
Naming conventions aside, this is going to be basically in real time that we're looking at.
Yeah, exactly. Eco trying to get some icing on the cake there. Gets the reversal onto Falcated. This is looking like a possible steak dinner here in game number 5. And it's just it's a heartbreaker for Evil Geniuses because, again, it's about closing out the series. It's about winning the series. No one's going to remember how many games you actually won. They're just going to remember if you actually got the big W towards the end. And it's looking like it's going to be a 50-27 here anytime that they get tapping buttons down. But no, tapping buttons staying alive. 28, they're trying to avoid a steak dinner by all costs. But no, Roy is going to drop. Too strong on the side of Team Liquid, 50-28. Great game number 4, great game number 5. Evil Geniuses, they were amazing at strongholds to start the season. They dropped 2 strongholds and a game number 5. Liquid, they still remain undefeated with this new lineup.
I mean, that was actually a pretty great series overall. Game number 2 alone was one of the more exciting Coliseum Slayers that we've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
On top of that, 50-49, you've never disappointed in that. Definitely a lot to talk about as far as stats go here. So when we, after these replays here, when we pull those up, and you can see just the score of this game as we went along. It was really just Liquid gradually building the lead over the course of the entire game. So up by 12 kills here, right around that halfway point for them, ending the game with a steak dinner. So just great overall play here from these guys.
Yeah, exactly. And didn't get a chance to look at the stats. Looks like the players backed out of the lobby, but Ego was going off that game. I think he was at 17 kills and around 5 deaths overall. So phenomenal for him to have the great objective play towards the end of Empire Strongholds and then finish it off with that strong performance in game number 5. That's what game 5s are all about, Kyle. We know, from playing in past